Viasat, Hughes, CenturyLink, Dish TV, DirecTV, Wilson Cell Booster Systems, and now Starlink and Equistar Internet Systems. Starlink and Equistar are the newest, the fastest, and the strongest satellite internet made. No limit, no contract. Wire for USA has it. Call 605-341-5361. Whatever your home or business needs are, call Wire for USA for the products and the service. You don't need training wheels with our system. Connect to the future with Wire for USA at 605-341-5361. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361. See us at our new location, 710 North La Crosse Street in Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a goodbye with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Hey sports fans, it's Rob from the Firehouse Skybox, inviting you to make us your home for the NFL this season. We really wanted Rapid City to have a premier sports bar with great service and great food, and that's why we started the Skybox. We have 35 big screens, we'll show every NFL game all season long. Plus we'll have great specials for you to join us on Monday nights, Thursday nights, and all day, of course, on Sunday. The Skybox has the best food and the best experience for NFL football. Check us out on game days, and we look forward to serving you at the Skybox above the Firehouse in downtown Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Week to week with what the NFL Network says is a mild high ankle sprain. There's no guarantee that he'll start Saturday against the Houston Texans. The Chiefs also play the Steelers on Christmas Day in Week 17. That's a week from Wednesday. Chiefs released running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire today. Once was a first-round pick, now headed to be a free agent. The Lions running back David Montgomery is done for the season. He needs surgery to repair a torn MCL in his knee. Bears-Vikings, 8 Eastern tonight. Falcons-Raiders, 8:30 Eastern. Desmond Ridder expected to start at quarterback for the Raiders. The 49ers suspended linebacker Devondre Campbell for the final 3 regular season games for conduct detrimental to the team. This after Campbell failed to enter in the third quarter of last Thursday's game against the Rams. Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter named first-team All-American at cornerback and at the all-purpose position. He earned second-team All-American honors at wide receiver. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. It is a Monday. It's a Reaction Monday. We're ready to go. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is back and ready. Thanks for being here and making this show possible. Hope you've had a great weekend, a great Monday. It is the Nate Brown Show, your sports, your show, and a great guest lineup to kick off the week. What a week this is going to be for a South Dakota sports fan. I mean, I'm juiced. I'm ready for this weekend. You got a huge sports weekend coming up, and especially for South Dakota sports fans. We got USD, Montana State. We got SDSU, NDSU, and then you throw in all this other stuff on Saturday. Some NFL splash with the Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens. I mean, you got college football playoff launching for the first time. This is going to be a big week. Let's get it started the right way. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. And remember, you can watch us live on X right now. At Nate Brown Show. Follow the show and watch us live. Interact with our question of the day. At Nate Brown Show on X. And YouTube is up and live right now. Subscribe to the channel, The Nate Brown Show, and you've got us on YouTube. Welcome in. Let's look at the guest lineup. It is the Forever Lawn guest lineup on The Nate Brown Show, brought to you by Forever Lawn with their own lineup of artificial grass, the best in the business by far. And Forever Lawn of South Dakota services all of the state, both sides, East River, West River. Just Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. You're thinking it's winter. What's the story with Forever Lawn? You got to get on their schedule for the spring. This is when you put the plan in place, get on their schedule. What are you looking for? Landscape grass, golf greens, sports grass, the turf, canine grass for your dogs, playground grass for the kids. If you're on a school board, this is the type of stuff you want. Forever Lawn of South Dakota. Just Google them. Take a look. The best by far. Forever Lawn in South Dakota. The Forever Lawn guest lineup tonight. We'll go to U.S. Bank Stadium. Let's get an update from Monday Night Football. Vikings beat writer Dane Mizutani is live. He said, I'll pop on. He's at the stadium right now. We got Dane Mizutani, Vikings beat writer, St. Paul Pioneer Press, TwinCities.com. Dane's coming up with the Vikings-Bears preview. We'll go national NFL writer tonight, Ralph Vacchiano from New York, FoxSports.com, senior NFL writer, Ralph Vacchiano on Week 15 of the NFL, and a lot to discuss there. We got to go heavy FCS playoffs, you know that. There's not a better state represented in the country in the FCS. The Yotes, the Jacks. Sam Herder is in tonight, senior FCS analyst for HeroSports.com. He'll join us live. He covered both games. He was in Brookings, and then he went down to Vermilion. Sam Herder's on tonight, HeroSports.com, senior FCS analyst. He didn't pick the Yotes. I got to tell you, I know Sam. I got to tell him. He didn't pick the Yotes to win it. Then we'll see what he does this week. He's going to pick the Yotes for the upset in Bozeman. Sam Herder's coming up. We'll go down to Denver. Doug Ottewell covered the Buffs and Travis Hunter, and, of course, the Broncos. Doug Ottewell is in from MileHighSports.com tonight, live from Denver, senior writer from Mile High Sports. So a good Monday show, local, regional, national. Let's get you on. Be a part of the conversation. If you want in tonight, we're live. Join us on the Pizza Ranch hotline. That's the studio line, 605-720-1067, 605-720-1067. So you've got us there. And the Barron's Wilson text line open and ready, 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson listener text line. You know it's going to be a good show on a Monday and Reaction Monday when you already got texts that are coming in on the app. We got an app for the studio line, and the texts just fly in even before the show starts. So that's good stuff. I've got numerous questions being asked. Who's going to win the FCS National Championship? Nate, where are you at on the Bo leaving chart for Bo Nix after his 3-interception day yesterday? We'll get to all that. Thank you for texting, and you can do that live. We'll check the Barron's Wilson text line. Let's get out of the gate on a Monday, and I'll start with the FCS playoff scenario, okay? This, let's make no bones about it. Let's not mistake ourselves here. South Dakota and SDSU are two teams that are in the national title hunt. And I think there's a bunch of folks. I mean, maybe it's a small bunch, but there's a group of folks out there that try and downplay, well, the FCS maybe isn't as good, and the FCS has lost some teams. I understand that scenario, but I think we need to take a step back and say these programs have elevated their programs, have invested in their programs. The athletic departments, the universities have invested to get to another level where the Yotes, the Jacks, the Bison, and the Bobcats, other teams around the country, the FCS teams, they only dream of being there. I mean, it's really easy to, well, yeah, the FCS lost some teams, James Madison and Sam Houston State, and whatever you want to say along the way there. But these programs have been really good. I'm going to tell you, the Jacks have been good now for a long time. The Bison, we know the dynasty. And now I've got to commend the Yotes, who I think people downplayed and didn't believe in. And it was because, well, they got to the quarterfinals last year and then got me, can they take that next step? Not very many people thought they would win, even at home against UC Davis. People thought, well, UC Davis, they're just better. They challenged in the Big Sky Conference. They're going to be. So USD and South Dakota State making the semifinals is actually a pretty big deal. And I think some around the country, at least following FCS, will say, yeah, of course these teams are the ones that are left. No, these are the programs that bought in, that are investing in their football programs and their athletic departments as a whole, really, more than most in the FCS level. So it's something I think that South Dakota should take some pride in, the whole state of South Dakota, that you got the Jacks playing Saturday at Fargo, you got the Yotes playing Saturday at Bozeman, two universities that have a chance to play each other in the national championship. I mean, that's unbelievable. By the way, let me ask you, who do you want to see in the national championship for the FCS? This is a question that I thought was a no-brainer today. I said, I'm going to bring this up on the program. This is a no-brainer for South Dakota sports fans. I said, what a semifinal Saturday we're going to have in the FCS for South Dakota sports. The Yotes and the Jacks trying to win, and they could meet in Frisco in the national title game. Is that the game you want to watch? The Yotes and the Jacks in the national championship? That's my question of the day. And there's a whole chunk of you out there that say, well, of course, give me a break. Why are you even asking that? Why I'm asking it, I'm actually getting some feedback from South Dakota sports fans today that we threw this out there, and they say, nah, I don't want to see the Yotes and the Jacks. I'd rather see the Jacks play Montana State. I'm going, is this just because of the rivalry? Is this just because you can't stand USD? How much can you not stand USD when you don't want to see South Dakota State play South Dakota? Tell me it isn't so. I like your rivalry shtick. I mean, I like your commitment to the rivalry. But you've got to understand, we want USD and SDSU to win Saturday, right? We want USD and SDSU to win. Or maybe that's just me, the unbiased, objective media observer. That's so unbiased. By the way, that is who I want to see. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Think about that. Frisco, national title game, national TV, USD and South Dakota State. Now, the rest of the country is going to go, wait a minute, the two South Dakota schools are playing each other? I'll check out. That probably won't be the biggest national draw. It'll be the South Dakota draw. That would take coverage of the FCS title game in this state even to another level. Let's see here. Let's ask that question of the day. The FCS National Championship matchup you really want to see. The FCS National Championship matchup you really want to see. I only did two options. The Jacks and Montana State or the Jacks and the Yotes. Listener reaction here from North Dakota. I'm getting a North Dakota here. You forgot about another team playing Saturday. I did get that. Nobody wants to see. We're not rooting for NDSU over the Jacks. I mean, we have some of you North Dakota guys here in the state. I understand. We're behind the Jacks all the way. I'm behind the Yotes and the Jacks all the way. I'm a Montana native, by the way. You see in the studio, we got a Montana State. It's behind our Christmas tree, but I had a listener from Montana who's been following the show a long time. He said, I'm going to send you a Montana State pennant. So I give them their respect. I give them their respect. But we're going USD, SDSU heavy on Saturday. But look at the poll question. We're up to 80 votes in the opening minutes of the program. I put it out there. What's the FCS National Championship matchup you really want to see in Frisco? The Jacks and Montana State or the Jacks and the Yotes? What's the matchup you want to see? 61% of the voters on Twitter say the Jacks and the Yotes. 39% of the voters say the Jacks and Montana State. You just want to take it to USD that badly? You don't want USD to make a national championship game? I understand that a little bit. I mean, the Jack faithful here, that's been the team. That's been the team that's captivated the most fans, the biggest fan base. They're going for a three-peat. They don't want the Yotes to be at their level. But I'm here to tell you, USD has proven they are this year. USD has proven they are this year. And I think you got to give the Yotes some credit. This wouldn't be a lucky run. This isn't a lucky run for the Yotes. So I would love to see Yotes Jacks FCS National Championship, but 39% of my audience, that's a big number in a South Dakota-based sports show. 39% say the Jacks and Montana State. Come on now. Listener text, neither I want to see NDSU, SDSU in the championship. That's the semifinal. Yeah, be careful with that. Be careful with that. If you're saying, that the Jackson Bison is the real championship, yeah, be careful. I think Montana State's the real deal, and I think USD's going to give them a challenge. That's how I see it, and I'm going to shift to another topic on this. How I see the FCS playoffs play out Saturday, I think it's going to be a tough go for USD. I followed Montana State pretty closely. Tommy Malotte's really good at QB, just creates a lot. They're really solid, have a lot of depth. You're playing outdoors. That's a really good fan base, and I don't think it's going to be that cold. The weather's turning a little bit in Bozeman, but I'm going to tell you, USD is going to have a physical challenge. The Yotes have been physical. That's why they're this good. They have been physical, but that's a physical football team, Montana State. They just want to run it and pound you and pound you. It's going to be mano on mano with the Yotes and Bobcats Saturday. That's going to be a battle. I think I give Montana State the edge. If I'm being honest, I told you, objective media observer of the Nate Brown Show. I think I give Montana State the edge, but it's not what the national people make you think. Everybody thinks USD's lucky to be here. I don't think so. I think they're going to go and get a little physical as well. Can USD pass it on the Bobcats? Is that the difference? Can Bauman do it? He had a pretty nice day outside of the turnovers. USD should have won that game Saturday by a lot more than they did against UC Davis. I mean, it was a mess a couple of times inside the 5-yard line. Let's go to the listener text. I want to see NDSU and USD. There it is. There's the switch. I like that. Thank you for that switch. The old switcheroo. It's like, forget the Jacks and Montana State. How about NDSU beating the Jacks and then facing USD? All right. I got the switch on you. Listener text. If it is SDSU USD National Championship, will the fans travel to Frisco? That's your big question. Interesting. Interesting point you bring up. USD crowd wasn't huge Saturday. SDSU crowd, it was cold in Brookings. That wasn't huge. 8,000, a little over 8,000, so it was tough both ways. What's the type of crowd if you get the Jacks and the Yotes in Frisco? What's that crowd look like? That's a good question. That's a legit question. Let's see. Listener text. Who cares about the rest of the nation if they don't want a USD SDSU in the finals? It's good marketing for the state of South Dakota. Bingo. Bingo bango. You got it. Let's see here. One more. I want to make sure we get these on. Your responses. What's the FCS championship matchup you really want to see? 62% now say the Jacks and the Yotes. So a majority on the Nate Brown Show do say we want to see Jacks-Yotes title game. I'm going to say the odds are not in our favor. The odds are not in our favor. Both of our teams going on the road. The Jacks can win at NDSU. I'm not going to make that prediction yet. I'm not going to give out the score yet for the Yotes either in Montana State. We'll do that later this week. We'll give out a score. We'll break it all down. We'll have great guests across the country and get a breakdown from the Yotes, the Jacks, the Bison, the Bobcats even. We'll get all of that this week on the program and the countdown to Saturday. But by the way, what games are you watching Saturday? I told you the sports weekend's just off the charts. What games are you really watching on Saturday? I want you to be honest. FCS playoffs, both of our teams in action. Regional games that are really, really interesting. Powerhouse FCS teams. You got NFL, Chiefs, Texans, Steelers, Ravens. Like those are meaningful NFL games. Then you got college football playoff going on. You know, like Penn State, SMU, you got that stuff going on as well. Can we not put everything on the same day? I mean, the NFL's trying to get into these Saturday slots late in the year. I don't like it. I don't like that at all. They're trying to get into the Saturday slots late in the year. Just keep it on Sunday. We don't need the college football playoff messed up, and then you got the FCS playoffs for South Dakota sports fans. By the way, I think people have voted on this really quick. Which one are you going to watch? I've got this. 53% have said the FCS playoffs. 27% say they're going to switch between all three. NFL, FCS, college football playoff. If you're being honest, that's probably what you're going to do, right? I mean, even myself, do I care about the Kansas City Chiefs? Well, I want to keep an eye on them, so I'm going to be flipping around. I'm switching between all three because I want to see just how much SMU is going to get beat by, but nonetheless, I'm switching between all three. That's the honest answer from the Nate Brown Show. A quick timeout. Let's go to Minnesota. Jump into Monday Night Football. A busy show as we're underway. Congrats to the Yotes and Jacks. Boy, it could be historic. The Yotes and the Jacks could win Saturday and face each other in a national championship game. Dane Mizutani is waiting at U.S. Bank Stadium. Monday Night Football, Vikings-Bears. He's covering it, and he's live on the Nate Brown Show next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
Save big money on your next project right now at Menards, your lighting headquarters. Find the perfect lighting for your home with new selectable color temperature True Wave LED bulbs from Sylvania. Simply adjust the color temperature to change the lighting in a snap. Save big on Sylvania True Wave selectable color temperature light bulbs. Plus, don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
The last great sale of the year is on at Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet. Shop over 350 used vehicles, GMCs, Rams, Fords, Chevys, imports, and more, including GM certified pre-owned. Buy with no money down and make no payments until spring 2025. Local and national lenders available and all applications accepted. And lower rates mean lower payments. Plus, buyers on site paying top dollar for all trades. Hurry! The last great sale of the year ends December 31st at Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet or DannyManholtRapidChevrolet.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 43. Winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Slight chance of snow tonight, lows dip down to about 20. Cloudy skies expected. Chance for snow tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 33. Partly cloudy skies. A dusting of snow tomorrow. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 40 degrees.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. On today's online-only auction, we are liquidating the automotive shop at Bob's Amico, located at 721 Mount Rushmore Road, Rapid City, South Dakota. Several shop tools, Craftsman, Snap-on, Blue Point. We have a Coates vertical tire-changing machine and a digital balancer. 12,000-pound scissor hoist that's like new. A 97 Dodge Dakota pickup with a snowplow. A 96 Infinity car. It's a Q45 with 85,000 actual miles. For more details and to bid and buy on today's online-only auction, go to McPhersonAuction.com.
The holidays are fast approaching, and we're celebrating every weekend in December with Santa's Stash. Every Friday and Saturday, we'll draw 5 winners who pick a gift from underneath the tree. You could win cash and prizes valued at up to $5,000. Earn 1 free entry every day you play with your Clubhouse card and get an additional entry for every 100 points you earn. Be here at 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays for your chance to win some of Santa's Stash. Only at Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort on historic Main Street in Deadwood.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Welcome back in. Just kicking off the week. Thanks for being here. What a fun week this is going to be. You got big Saturday in South Dakota sports with FCS semifinals. You got NFL dipping into Saturday like they've been doing late in the year. And you got the college football playoff. Here we go. We got you covered on the Nate Brown Show. It's South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Every guest appears on the Pizza Ranch hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch. Dane Missitani's on tonight covering Monday Night Football. Vikings-Bears. Vikings 11-2. Nobody's saying all of a sudden the Lions have fallen off after they lose to the Bills. Now everybody's saying, well, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. The Vikings are still, we're 11-2, just quietly. We take on the Bears tonight. TwinCities.com for his coverage. St. Paul Pioneer Press, Vikings beat writer Dane Missitani on the Nate Brown Show. Dane, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm doing well, Nate. I'm just pulled up to US Bank Stadium, so it should be a pretty fun night.
Okay, so you're ready to go. I kind of make that reference, and I don't know. I mean, I listen to the national media, Dane, and maybe it's different in Minnesota, but national media is like, well, the Lions are injured now, and boy, they got beat by the Bills, so now it's the Eagles. Look at the Eagles. They beat the Steelers. Vikings rarely mentioned. They're just kind of like rolling along here. Do you still think the Vikings kind of want it that way? Are they okay with that?
Yeah, they've kind of leaned into that this year. I don't think they've really concerned themselves with kind of the outside speculation or what's going on or what predictors are saying or where they're going to finish. You remember Vegas had them listed at 6.5 wins over under this year. So the Vikings really haven't bought into any of that outside noise. They've just tried to keep it pretty focused on themselves. And I think if the national media wants to say the Eagles are the flavor of the week, I think the Vikings are more than okay with that, as they kind of, like you said, quietly improve to 11-2 with a big game tonight.
Okay, here's another quiet thing. Nobody's. Sam Darnold goes into tonight 3,300 yards. I mean, it's 3,299, but 3,300 yards, 28 touchdowns. He hasn't thrown picks his last 4 games. The guy's taking care of the ball. Those numbers, 3,300 yards, 28 touchdowns. What should people think of Sam Darnold? This is the real Sam Darnold, or this is a great year?
I think this is the real Sam Darnold. I really do. I think early on in the season, everyone was kind of waiting for that other shoe to drop. When does this clock strike midnight? When does he turn back into a pumpkin? And I think after that Jacksonville game, if you remember about a month ago, where he threw 3 picks, they put up 12 points, they didn't score an offensive touchdown. I think everyone pointed to that moment and said, this is it. This is it. This is who he is. He's finally showing his true colors. And all he's done since then is not lose a game and bounce back with maybe the best stretch of his career. So I think this is who he is. I think it would be kind of foolish to not take into account the infrastructure he has in place, what Kevin O'Connell has helped do for his career, what it's like throwing to Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, being able to hand off to Aaron Jones. All of those things obviously help him reach a new level. But this is a guy who went number 3 overall. This is a guy who has always had just incredible arm talent, and I think you're seeing it kind of all come together right now. So I think he's playing as good as any quarterback in the league. And I think he's going to make a lot of money this offseason.
Okay, that's the top headline right now, Dane. While you're at US Bank Stadium on ESPN, it's the center splash page. It's Sam Darnold is going to get paid. So has that turned into a discussion, do you think? People want to say, nah, we're all focused day to day here. Is the Sam Darnold future a big thing?
I think externally, yes. I think internally they have managed to kind of foster an environment where even though it's the elephant in the room, everyone's pretty laser focused on what's going on here and how special this season still could be. I think anytime we ask Sam Darnold, he writes it off, says, I'm where my feet are. It's kind of how I've always done this. And I believe him to a degree. I will say when you are staring down a big money contract and you keep playing like this, it's hard for me to believe it doesn't at least cross your mind. But I think they have done a good job in this building. Anytime it's come up, really just keeping the focus on this year. It's been like that from the beginning, before he started to play at the top tier level of quarterback play. From training camp, it was always, let's just focus on the next one. And I think that's kind of served them well. It's not something they're trying to invent now. It's something that they've kind of kind of had going since the beginning.
Dane Mizutani from U.S. Bank Stadium, Monday Night Football. Appreciate him coming on. Vikings writer, TwinCities.com. Follow him on Twitter at Dane Mizutani. Do you get the sense of what the Vikings can do with Sam Darnold? Can they franchise tag him? How does this work with this roster personnel makeup moving forward?
Yeah, I think all the options are going to be on the table, right? Like, just looking at it from a bird's eye view, 30,000-foot perspective, like, yeah, that is an option. The franchise tag is an option that if the Vikings want to use it, they could. But I think it's kind of important to, not to go back to the next game is the most important one, but I think the next month and then how the playoffs play out for the Vikings would go a long way in determining what they do. If the Vikings go on a Super Bowl run, I think it's a pretty good chance that Sam Darnold will be the quarterback here next year. If they bow out in the first round of the playoffs, I think your decision gets a little bit easier to be made. So I think it makes sense. It's why we all have jobs in sports media to want to talk about the future and what are the Vikings going to do in March and April. But the Vikings might be playing in February, and I think they're more concerned with that right now.
Okay, give me your read on the Lions yesterday. It was the Bills. You give up 48 points to them, though. Lions are banged up. They lost more guys yesterday. Where do you think the Lions are at?
That's hard because I think at a certain point injuries pile up to a degree where it's really, really hard to overcome. And I know the Lions are extremely talented. But now when you start losing guys on the offensive side of the ball, your defense is basically just mostly backups at this point with the amount of talent that just continues to go down on a weekly basis. And now you've lost David Montgomery for the year. I think the Lions offensively, as they proved yesterday, are probably going to be able to score with anybody come playoff time. If they have to win a shootout, they have the offensive firepower to do so. But I think there are cracks in the foundation, probably cracks in the foundation we didn't see even 3-4 weeks ago. And I just think, like, at a certain point, the amount of injuries that this team has suffered, I'm not going to write them off because they're still the 1 seed at the moment. But I would not be feeling great if I was a fan of the Detroit Lions.
One more NFC North. How about the Packers last night? Are the Packers dangerous?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think they play a brand of football that wins in January. If they have to go into, say, a Philadelphia in the cold, on the road, in a hostile environment, having a run game really lends itself to having success there. They've almost transformed their offense in a way, like Jordan Love going down with that sprained MCL at the beginning of the season and having to play Malik Willis. I think it was a blessing in disguise. Forced Matt LaFleur to think outside of the box, and now they're doing all these things, inside zone, outside zone, with their run game, that I think makes them very dangerous. And then they're an opportunistic defense that flies around. So they're rounding into form, too. I thought what they did last night in Seattle was extremely impressive. It's crazy. They might finish third in the NFC North. That's how good this division is.
Dane Mizutani from Monday Night Football, TwinCities.com for the coverage of the Vikings tonight. Follow him on Twitter at Dane Mizutani. What do you think of the Bears? I'll let you run with this. Get to the game. Bears are 4-9, fired head coach, new offensive coordinator. What are we going to get here?
I think they're probably at least motivated by the switch. They didn't look very good last week. So I think there's probably going to be some sort of punch thrown by the Bears early in the game. I will say if the Vikings go up early, and I think this thing could be a runaway, I do think at a certain point Chicago's, whether the players say it or not, are going to start peeking their eyes towards next year. What could this team look like? I think they want to play hard for Thomas Brown. I know he's revered in that locker room and that organization. But if the Vikings go up early, I could see this being a pretty handy victory for the home team.
Vikings 11-2 Monday night coming up. TwinCities.com with Vikings writer Dane Mizutani on tonight. Dane, thanks for hopping in. I appreciate it.
You got it, Nate. Thanks.
Appreciate your time. Dane Mizutani from U.S. Bank Stadium, Monday Night Football Live Report. Vikings beat writer, TwinCities.com for the St. Paul Pioneer Press. Dane Mizutani on Twitter. I don't think it's a runaway tonight. I don't think it's a runaway. It's just a classic divisional game mess. So, I mean, the Bears they're just going to they're going to hang around. You always think about this in the pros like, well, this team doesn't have anything to play for, and then this team does, and so it's going to be a runaway. It's not going to be a runaway. But we'll see. Maybe Dane's right. Maybe I'm way off. I think the Bears-Vikings is going to be a classic late-season snot knocker. It's just going to be one of those games. Vikings win, but they're favored by 7. And the Bears just, it's like they've come close against some good teams. We saw that recently against the Lions where they messed it up. So we'll see. What do you get from the Bears? No clue, but it's an NFC North divisional just grinder. And so the Vikings, nothing easy tonight. There's going to be nothing easy tonight for the Vikes. They win. It's a battle. Coming right back with Ralph Vacchiano, NFL writer for FoxSports.com. Let's run through the NFL. Week 15. Ralph Vacchiano live, FoxSports.com, national writer next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
It's New Year's Eve. Get ready to rock the box, featuring flannel and pop rocks live at the Box Event Center. Enter the costume contest for your chance to win the $1,000 grand prize. General admission tickets start at just $35. How about an all-you-can-eat nacho bar? VIP packages, including a room stay and breakfast, start at $149 at rockthebox.live. Rock the box with us and ring in the new year with a bash. Tickets available now. Visit rockthebox.live.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Are new windows from Renewal by Andersen a great investment? You're darn right they are. Did you know that for less than your cable bill or cell phone bill each month, you could have new windows from Renewal by Andersen right now? Do the math. Renewal by Andersen windows will likely cut your energy bills significantly. They will likely substantially increase the value of your home. They're a great investment. Please contact our team now and ask about our fantastic financing options with approved credit right now. Renewal by Andersen, a great investment? You're darn right.
Fish GMC Cadillac. All remaining 2024 models must go now. Cadillac XT5 up to $3,000 off. XT4 $2,500 off. XT6 save up to $3,500. Save up to $5,500 on Escalades. Remaining GMC models up to $8,000 off during the year-end Spearfish GMC Cadillac closeout sale. Always open online at spearfishmotors.com.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for WeatherTight Exteriors in Rapid City. I got to tell you, I just worked with WeatherTight on replacing the roof at my house, and the process was seamless working with this great local company. They were an outstanding advocate helping us get things in place. I believe in the work that they do, but not just me. They've been voted Best of the Black Hills 5 years in a row. When the time comes to replace your roof, siding, even windows, WeatherTight is the local company you can count on. Remember, WeatherTight.com.
At Highmark Credit Union, we are big sports fans, and even bigger fans of our teachers. That's why we offer debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. These cards are awesome, and every time you use your card, Highmark makes a donation to the school activity clubs. Highmark has donated over $5,000 locally to Rapid City and Douglas schools. So make the smart money move, show your school spirit, and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their number one priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show, back on a Monday, Reaction Monday on South Dakota Sports Talk Show, Fox Sports Radio. Lot to cover tonight. We'll go FCS playoffs heavy with Sam Herder coming up, senior FCS writer, HeroSports.com. He covered both games this past weekend. He went to Brookings and froze. No, he was in the warm press box. Don't let him fool you. And then he went to USD down in Vermillion, got warm in the dome. So Sam Herder just grinding out there on the FCS playoff road. He's coming up on the Nate Brown Show, previewing semifinal Saturday in the FCS. Let's go NFL. Ralph Vacchiano's joining us tonight. Appreciate his time. NFL writers, FoxSports.com. One of our own, FoxSports.com. Does a great job. Find him on Twitter at Ralph Vacchiano, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show. Ralph, welcome back on. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good, man. I just got a report from Monday Night Football in Minnesota. A lot of Vikings fans here. And the Vikings beat writer said, well, if the Vikings score early, look out, it's going to be a runaway. I don't see a runaway. NFC North, just ugly divisional game. What do you see tonight? Bears, Vikings?
Well, usually division games are a little tighter than you'd expect. I do think there's a pretty big gap in these teams. The Bears are obviously heading in the wrong direction at the moment, and the Vikings, do seem to be clicking. They've had a lot of ugly games, though. I mean, games where you thought they might be able to pull away, maybe blow an opponent out, where they just haven't been able to do it. So they can be a little up and down in that regard. I don't usually expect a blowout in a division game, especially late in the season. There's a lot of reasons why that might not happen, but the Vikings they're certainly capable of it. They're the class of this matchup for sure.
Okay, let's go to some of the big games yesterday. I'm hearing a lot of the national media here on Fox Sports Radio. They said, okay, Lions got beat. The new NFC team is the Eagles. Do you put the Eagles, the cream of the crop, in the NFC now?
I think they're right up there. I wouldn't take too much away from the Lions losing to the Bills. That's obviously the cream of the crop of the AFC, or at least one of them. So, I think that the Lions are still right up there. But the Eagles have been on their heels all season long. They've won 10 straight games. They have a lot of the elements that the Lions have. The defensive players, a run game that can be hard to stop, a quarterback who can be dangerous. I don't think there's a lot of separation between those two teams. I think if they end up battling in the playoffs, it could come down to a field goal either way, and could be a real tough matchup. So I don't think there was any kind of changing of the guard. I just think they've been, 1-2 for most of the season. It's pretty clear 1-2, I think, in the conference. I know the Vikings are right there too. I don't think they're the same kind of team as the Lions and the Eagles. They certainly got a chance to upend them, but I'd probably put them right on the next level at the top. But the Eagles have been on the Lions' heels and in their class all season long.
How do you think the Eagles will handle this distracting stuff? Jalen Hurts and, Brown, and then you had Sirianni arguing with the coach on the sideline. Is that just what media we kind of look at and say, oh, dysfunction junction there, that's not good? Do you think any of that matters?
Well, it certainly can. I mean, it really depends on what it is. If A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts were really at odds, at which, they're not. And I think they showed that yesterday, that they're really not. They kind of put that whole thing behind them. Then it's not anything to worry about. I don't think the Jalen Carter stuff is going to turn out to be a big deal, especially when they're winning. But there were a lot of little firestorms like that with the Eagles last year that turned out to be a bigger deal. Players who were upset, players battling coaches, just a lot of unsettling stuff. So it's certainly worth watching. You never really know until you know what happens next. If Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown had come out and in this last game and looked like they weren't on the same page, or A.J. Brown was still upset, we all would have been making a big deal out of it. But they came out and both had big games, so that's the best way to sort of put it behind them. If in the next game Jalen Carter goes out and plays well and does everything he's supposed to do, he'll end up in a big bear hug with Nick Sirianni, and bygones will be bygones, and that'll be that.
Ralph Vacchiano is joining us, NFL writer for FoxSports.com. Read his work there. Find him on Twitter. Follow him at Ralph Vacchiano, one of the best NFL guys. So Josh Allen goes for 430 yards, 4 total touchdowns, after a 6 total touchdown game last week. They've scored over 40 back-to-back weeks. Josh Allen Is he the lock MVP? What do you say?
He's pretty close. I don't know how you would vote for anyone else at this point. I think there's some guys who you have to watch and see what they do the rest of the way. You know, Lamar Jackson had a pretty good day, albeit against the Giants. That's not all that impressive necessarily, but he's put up some pretty good numbers there in Baltimore. I think the Saquon Barkley candidacy was really, really strong up until yesterday when, Josh Allen has his huge game and Saquon Barkley does not have a big game, and the Eagles still win, and they still win convincingly. Takes a little bit of the case away from him being a most valuable player. But there's still 3 weeks to go, and a lot can change. But right now, I think yesterday put some separation between Josh Allen and the rest of the field.
How about the Kansas City Chiefs, Ralph? They win again. Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain. They got to play Saturday. Are the Chiefs just barely hanging on, or are they going to still make a playoff run? What is your feeling?
Well, if Mahomes is healthy, I don't worry about them at all. I think they'll still make a playoff run. Now, I don't know if they're as good as previous teams. Maybe this is the year that Buffalo finally gets by them, or Baltimore, or somebody finally gets by them. But it's not going to be easy. I know they've played a lot of one-score games, and that makes people think they've come back to the pack. But to me, that makes them look like a team that's just not into the regular season as much. They know the playoffs are what's important. They're battle-tested. They know how to turn it on when they need to in a game. They know how to win these close games, and all that kind of stuff is important in the postseason. So, they still only lost once. Nobody's beating them left and right now. So I wouldn't discount them in any way. Again, I'm not sure if they're the powerhouse Chiefs we've seen, but they're the team I at least like to play in the playoffs. That's for sure.
Okay, Ralph Vacchiano on tonight, NFL writer, FoxSports.com. He's here on the Nate Brown Show. One more. Broncos win. Now they got to win one of their last three. Chargers Thursday night, then it's Bengals, then it's Chiefs. So if the Broncos win one of those games, they're in the playoffs. What do you say?
Well, I think they're going to make it. I don't, I think they have to win one of those games, but I think the competition coming from behind them is probably too far in the distance. I'm not sure that, I guess it would be the Dolphins and the Colts, if I'm remembering correctly, that probably have to win out to catch them, and I'm not sure either one of them are capable of doing it. So I do think the Broncos will make it. They find a way to win games that you don't expect them to win. I could see them beating the Chargers. Maybe the Chiefs don't have anything to play for when they face them. So there's certainly opportunities there. They're a legit good team. You're not going to overpower anybody, but they could be difficult in the playoffs if Bo Nix is the guy that Sean Payton thinks he is. He's played pretty well for most of the regular season, and I know he had a few interceptions yesterday, and that might set him back a little bit. But they're going to be difficult to beat, I think. And, I do think they'll end up in the postseason, probably with the last seed.
Ralph Vacchiano in tonight, giving us his breakdown of Week 15, FoxSports.com, NFL writer. Ralph, always appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, my pleasure. Anytime.
Appreciate you coming on. South Dakota Sports Talk Show with Ralph Vacchiano, NFL writer, FoxSports.com. Follow him on Twitter if you're not. Great writer over the years, at Ralph Vacchiano. Good stuff with Ralph from New York. All right, breaking down Week 15. My Denver Broncos are in good shape. Can you believe it? I told you to bet over 5.5 wins. I told you to go to BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzy and Cadillac Jackson and say, bet the over 5.5 wins. That's the only thing I've gotten right in all year long. What a year it's been, 2024. But I did say over 5.5, and the Broncos are 9-5. Here we go. Where is my Bo leaving chart? I got a listener text on that. That's a great little game we've been playing. Matt Kearney, the producer of the Nate Brown Show, started putting together this chart where we came up with the Bo leaving chart. How much do I believe in Bo Nix? It got up to 95%. 95%. I'm going to step back. Yesterday was not great. Under 200 yards total offense. 3 interceptions. So I know there's going to be these bumps along the way, so that's why I'm not like 100%. This is, Bo Nix, this guy is unbelievable. He's good. I love his competitiveness. I love his poise, his leadership, his playmaking, his athletic ability. He's good. My Bo leaving chart for the Broncos as a franchise QB, 70%. 70. That was rough yesterday. And the reason I say that, you can't throw 3 picks in the playoffs. Broncos are going to make the playoffs. You can't throw 3 picks in the playoffs. It's over. I mean, this isn't the Colts who are dropping the ball before they cross the goal line. Whoops. So 3 picks in the playoffs, it's over. So when I mean like a franchise QB, you got to have somebody that can win huge games. He's just a rookie. So I'm not stepping on the gas 100% on the Bo leaving chart. We're going to pull it back to 75%. Okay? 75%. That's where we're at. Listener text, 605-720-1067. It's the Barron's-Wilson text line. You can be a part of the conversation right there. And I will tell you, there is a quarterback in the NFL that everybody thinks is this great player now. Where have you guys been? That's next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
It's New Year's Eve. Get ready to rock the box, featuring Flannel and Pop Rocks live at the Box Event Center. Enter the costume contest for your chance to win the $1,000 grand prize. General admission tickets start at just $35. How about an all-you-can-eat nacho bar? VIP packages, including a room stay and breakfast, start at $149 at rockthebox.live. Rock the box with us and ring in the new year with a bash. Tickets available now. Visit rockthebox.live.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Are new windows from Renewal by Andersen a great investment? You're darn right they are. Did you know that for less than your cable bill or cell phone bill each month, you could have new windows from Renewal by Andersen right now? Do the math. Renewal by Andersen windows will likely cut your energy bills significantly. They will likely substantially increase the value of your home. They're a great investment. Please contact our team now and ask about our fantastic financing options with approved credit right now. Renewal by Andersen, a great investment? You're darn right.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows level off around 20 tonight under cloudy skies with a slight chance for snow. South winds around 5 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, slight chance of snow. Highs level off around 31. Partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 18. A dusting of snow tonight through tomorrow. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 39.
I'm with Brian at Anytime Auto Sales, Service and Detail. Pretty much every season has its unique needs for car repairs and maintenance, does it not?
So true. The AC charge is now the coolant flush, and the Get My Brakes and Tires Ready for Winter Rush is here. We still offer mobile synthetic blend oil changes for just $49.99. To lifetime brakes for just $329 an axle for most vehicles. Now that's pads, rotors, labor, and of course the lifetime guarantee.
People need to jump on that.
You know, they really do, as these deals will not last forever. See AnytimeAnytime.com for an entire page of money-saving service and detail coupons.
I think most people think the days of the friendly neighborhood mechanic were long gone.
Well, here at Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, we want to change that. We're here to be your trusted neighborhood automotive caretaker.
Come see Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, folks. The place to trust. Your AAA and ASC certified service center. See AnytimeAnytime.com, and as always, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
We're all going somewhere. Going higher, faster, farther. Going in new directions, to new places. At Monument Health, we keep going so you can keep going. We're dedicated to advanced orthopedic care with the latest innovations, technology, expertise, and treatment. So keep exploring, keep making memories, keep going with Monument Health as your partner. Learn more at monument.health/orthopedics.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show on a Monday. Glad you're here. Thanks for making the show possible. Fox Sports Radio. We're live, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. All of our guests appear on the Pizza Ranch Hotline. You can also be a part of the conversation there. The Pizza Ranch Hotline, powered by Pizza Ranch. 2 locations in Rapid City. Also 3809 East 10th Street in Sioux Falls, and in Brandon, 202 South Split Rock Boulevard. Stop by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. I had Pizza Ranch Saturday night. Outstanding. Outstanding buffet. The best buffet. You know that. I have a question of the day out there tonight. Who do you want to see in the FCS National Championship? The Jacks and the Yotes? The Jacks and Montana State? I thought it was an easy question for South Dakota sports fans. I've said it for you. My strong feeling, I would love to see the Jacks and the Yotes. Would love to see the Jacks and the Yotes. Now, we've got South Dakota sports fans who are going against USD. There's a few on the text line going against the Jacks, so people are all over the map. But South Dakota sports fans, can we unite when we want to see the Jacks and the Yotes? Listener text coming in, 605-720-1067 is our question of the day. If you want to answer it, hit us there. 605-720-1067. Who do you want to see in the national championship in the FCS? The Jacks and the Yotes, or the Jacks and Montana State? Listener text, I think if SDSU and USD make the national championship, Nate, it would make for poor television ratings, and ABC would hate that. Yeah, they might. I said it's not going to be nationally captivating, but it's the best thing for South Dakota. That would be big time. I mean, the coverage that FCS gets anyway, just the national championship, and now we got USD against SDSU. I mean, that would put our state over the top as far as just the national recognition. I mean, that's a South Dakota commercial right there. Listener text, Nate, as you alluded to, not a great chance of USD versus the Jackson Frisco. But if it occurs, there isn't enough beer in that part of Texas. I asked you guys, what's the crowd going to be like if somehow the Yotes win in Bozeman Saturday and the Jacks went up in Fargo Saturday? What's the crowd going to be like down in Frisco? You'd have a Yotes-Jacks national title game. He's ready to turn it up a little bit, apparently. Let's go to the poll question and see the results coming in. What's the FCS National Championship matchup you really want to see in Frisco? The one you really want to see? 60% of the Nate Brown Show audience on Twitter says Jacks Yotes. 60%. 40%, that's a big number, want the Jacks and Montana State. Come on now. Jacks Yotes would be outstanding. Okay, let's get to something that I just want to point out. If you've listened to the show for a long time, great. If you just started listening the last month or so, welcome in. I'm a big Josh Allen fan. I've been a big Josh Allen fan from the start, from Wyoming. His story, covered him over there. We've had him on the show. So love his character, love his intangibles, love his background. And I talked to the folks over in Wyoming that played with him. Just a really great teammate. So when he was going to be drafted years ago, I wanted my Denver Broncos to select him. And I was on this show. I was trying to get John Elway to wake up. And anyway, that never happened. But they didn't select Josh Allen. We know how the Broncos have struggled up until now. The Bills get him, and he's just turned the world on fire. I mean, he is just absolutely lighting it up. And he's taken the Bills from nothing to AFC championships and trying to take that next step. Okay, the Chiefs have been in the way. But Josh Allen's now getting MVP talk, which I think he's going to be. And I've been on this train for a long time because I knew you're going to get a competitor. You're going to get a real 6'4", 240-pound, big-time athlete. I saw him in Wyoming. People, national media, oh, he's playing at Wyoming. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. And now I hear Colin Cowherd today on Fox Sports Radio. Here's what he said. Remember that saying, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive? Were they talking about Superman or Josh Allen? Colin Cowherd says, as good as Mahomes is, he's not this. So now we've taken Josh Allen from not accurate, played at Wyoming, gonna be bad. Oh, I'm not a believer. I think there's way better players. To now he's better than Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes isn't even Josh Allen. Can I bring everybody in and be a little bit fair tonight? I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. I think he's been great. I knew he had this potential. I saw him slinging it 2 NFL tight ends over at Wyoming. He had some guys with him, so I knew it. However, Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. Let's not just go crazy. We take 2 weeks in the NFL and whoa, now Josh Allen's untouchable. He's the best. It's like nobody's ever seen anything like this. This is the best. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know if it's Hot Take Central Time on a Monday, but I'm just actually going to be realistic and be fair to you guys. Say, Patrick Mahomes is still one. Do not say Mahomes is not still one. The Chiefs aren't playing great. They still only have one loss. Mahomes is a little bit hurt. That's all fine and dandy. Mahomes is still one. My boy Josh Allen is number 2. It's really, really tight. But until you step up in the biggest times, in the biggest games, I got to go Mahomes. So it's Josh Allen's my boy. And he might do it this year. But let's not act like it's all, oh, man, the best thing you've ever seen all of a sudden when you thought, this guy can't play. This guy's coming from, well, who is this guy? Let's be a little more realistic. I got to go to this next story because I got to ask you. I wasn't sure if this was going to happen or not. And it's happened today in college football. So we have coming up big college football playoff this weekend. You got Notre Dame, Indiana Friday night. So I'm stoked for this. I'm excited for it. 12-team playoff. I love college football. So you got Notre Dame, Indiana kicking things off Friday night. 12-team playoff. Then you've got Penn State, SMU Saturday. Well, we've got a big problem. Because I wasn't sure this was going to happen for the college football playoff, and it has happened with Penn State. We have to make some changes in order to have real consistency and not goofy things happen when you got a college football playoff going on. This is a bad story out of Penn State. Next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Shop the best deals of the season at Splash City. Stay warm, relaxed, and save thousands on Jacuzzi and Sundance's highest quality hot tubs and saunas. With a free accessory package, you only have until Christmas Eve to stop in your local Splash City to learn more about these amazing deals. Jacuzzi and Sundance's highest quality in hot tubs and saunas to warm up inside and outside all winter long.
Visit Splash City in Sioux Falls, Rapid City, or Sioux City. It's time to make a splash. You've earned it.
At Fleet Farm, we know every opening day doesn't begin and end with us. But if it did, we've got you covered. Everyday hunting gear from Winchester, Remington, and Bear. Everyday fishing gear from Daiwa, St. Croix, and Rapala. Everyday yard cleanup from Scott's, Fiskars, and AgriFab. Whatever makes your day, we're right there with you. At Fleet Farm, we've got everything you need for everyday life.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for Black Hills Community Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner, and I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs, and Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action, and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together on putting your family first.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
Hi, I'm Bill at Wire for USA. If you're looking for internet, TV, security systems, or cell booster systems, why would you look at a company that only gives you one choice for each of these systems? Wire for USA offers it all. Viasat, Hughes, CenturyLink, Dish TV, DirecTV, Wilson cell booster systems, and now Starlink and EchoStar internet systems. Starlink and EchoStar are the newest, the fastest, and the strongest satellite internet made. No limit, no contract. Wire for USA has it. Call 605-341-5361. Whatever your home or business needs are, call Wire for USA for the products and the service. You don't need training wheels with our system. Connect to the future with Wire for USA at 605-341-5361. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361. See us at our new location, 710 North La Crosse Street in Rapid City.
One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome back in Monday edition of the program at South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're a part of it. Appreciate it. Let's look at the second hour. Looks good on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Sam Herder's going to join us, senior FCS analyst, breaking down the semifinal Saturday coming up with the Yotes at Montana State, the Jacks at NDSU. Sam Herder, Hero Sports, senior FCS analyst, breaking down semifinal Saturday coming up. Doug Ottawell on tonight from Denver, talking Broncos, trying to make the postseason very close. And the Buffs and Travis Hunter winning the Heisman over the weekend. Doug Ottawell coming up, senior writer, milehighsports.com. Second hour busy. The Forever Lawn guest lineup on the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by Forever Lawn. When it comes to the best artificial grass in South Dakota, that's the company. Let them put the work in for you. And you're saying, well, it's winter. We're talking artificial grass in winter. They want to put the plan together for 2025. You got to get on their list. Start working with them now. So Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. Take a look. They got landscape grass, maintenance free. It's outstanding. Playground grass, golf greens, canine grass for the dogs, sports grass, turf fields, whatever chapter of life you're in, wherever you're at, take a look at Forever Lawn, the best lineup of artificial grass and serving both sides of the state, ready to install across the entire state of South Dakota. Just Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. The Forever Lawn guest lineup looks good on this Monday. The Nate Brown Show inviting you on if you want to be a part of the conversation. Text line is open, 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson text line, 605-720-1067. Okay, I just don't know how college sports people don't have common sense or like what we're doing. I just don't get it. Just a small radio host from South Dakota, and I don't know much. But how do we not get how to do college football differently when you got this transfer portal mess going on right now? How do we not get this? The NFL, the trade deadline's done. It's done. You can't be going in and switching and going to other teams. I mean, how does college football not get this? Oh, you got to let them get in the transfer portal so they can see where they want to go. Can we wait? Just wait until the national championship. You'll get a jump start late January. You don't have to get it right before Christmas. Late January, you can still enroll in the classes, You'll be okay. I mean, classes aren't too important for most of these guys. They might tell you. So they'll be okay. And why do I say this? I mean, we got a problem going on. Penn State's playing in the college football playoff. I didn't know we'd see a contributing player leave his team. I wasn't sure. I was really hoping not. And people are going to say, well, you cherry-picked this one. Well, it's the real story. Penn State has a backup quarterback who they kind of bring in to run sometimes. If you watch the Jacks, it's kind of like Chase Mason. So Mark Gronowski's the number one guy, but it'd be like Chase Mason playing in the FCS playoffs here, semifinal game coming up in Fargo this weekend, and Chase Mason's going to bail. It's like, well, he's not the number one guy, but if you want the Jacks, he's really athletic. They put him in some running scenarios. He's got some touchdowns, that thing. It's that guy for Penn State. So Penn State's quarterback's a backup quarterback. You can say backup. He's got 6 touchdowns. I mean, he's got 6 touchdowns all the year. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's tied for second on the team in rushing touchdowns, third in carries. So they kind of use this guy because Drew Aller's not your best runner. He's your thrower. Drew Aller's like the real quarterback for Penn State, but this is this set guy and that play guy and this Wildcat guy. So that's this Penn State player. That's the explanation. What do you think he's done today? Well, I got to get in the transfer portal. I've got some opportunities, some other places here. There's money out there. There's opportunity out there. I got to get in the transfer portal. So it's not the players. It's the timeline. And so how does somebody just not take a step back and say, we've got to end this? I mean, this is absolutely a mess. So now you've got a college football playoff team playing Saturday. Penn State's taking on SMU. Big things on the line, right? Big stakes. And trying to win a national championship. Penn State won't get that far, but nonetheless, hey, they got a little path here. SMU, then Boise State, they got a little path. And they're going to lose their guy who's second on the team in rushing touchdowns. Because the timeline says we can open up the transfer portal. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it's not a big deal for like the 100 other teams. It is a big deal for the team still playing. And then I'm going to add this in. Everybody knows the bowl games don't matter now, right? Bowl games don't matter. Players opt out and the whole thing. Marshall, the Thundering Herd of Marshall, speaking of an FCS program that was great back in the day with Randy Moss and the guys. So Marshall is going to play in a bowl game. One of those no-name bowl games. Nobody cares, right? Well, that's right, because most of the team is gone. Like, they lost their team. So Marshall's had to say, hey, we can't play in that bowl game because we got like 30 players that are leaving. Whoops. So that's the type of stuff that's embarrassing. So this is the precipice of bowl games that don't matter are going to really be in a bad spot because of this transfer portal timeline. You force players into bailing and getting out to get on the market. You got to get on the market. So Marshall's they have like 30 players last time I checked. So they don't have enough guys to even play. So they're going to bail on the bowl game. They're not even going to play in it. And then on the college football playoff, that's going to fix everything because you really want to stay in it. You're a part of the team. You try to win a national championship. There's a guy who's got 6 touchdowns. Backup QB comes in, runs some things for Penn State, and he's saying, sense of urgency here. I gotta make my decision. And I'm not going to keep on saying, the player. I don't like when the players do it. I was pretty early on that. I don't like the players in team sports doing this. But you can't be so high and mighty on your high horse and say, it's the players. They're not bought in. They're not committed. It's the transfer portal timeline. Can somebody wake up? The timeline is an absolute embarrassment. And so you have the first time a contributor for a college football playoff team, a contributor, heading out before the first college football playoff game this Saturday. What a deal. Listener text coming in. Things like this will destroy what made bowl games special. It was always a celebration. Now that has been eroded. Listener text goes to show you how selfish players are. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because they're in a system now where it says, hey, you could go somewhere else. You can make this money. Maybe we've got some offers out there. So now I gotta decide now. I can't think I'm going to run a few plays for Penn State Saturday and just hope that changes my life. The system is the killer. And I wonder if anybody's just going to let these stories just slide this Monday and just let them slide. No big deal. Soon it's going to be a starting player that's maybe disgruntled and can get a big money deal somewhere else, but he's got to go now. You can't go, oh, well, if they leave their team, people will look down on them. No, they don't. They're just wondering if they're good. Because if they're good, they don't care. I hope the system changes because, look out, bowl games are going by the wayside. Marshall's quitting. Yeah, they don't have enough players. And now college football playoff team has a contributing player bailing. Unbelievable. Sam Herder's in next. I'm glad the Jacks are still intact. And the Yotes playing in the semifinals of the FCS Saturday. Sam Herder, I'm going to ask him for his picks. He picked against the Yotes this past weekend. They beat UC Davis. Sam Herder, senior FCS analyst, live next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
This New Year's Eve, get ready to rock the box featuring Flannel and Pop Rocks live at the Box Event Center. Enter the costume contest for your chance to win the $1,000 grand prize. General admission tickets start at just $35. How about an all-you-can-eat nacho bar? VIP packages, including a room stay and breakfast, start at $149 at rockthebox.live. Rock the box with us and ring in the new year with a bash. Tickets available now. Visit rockthebox.live.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Are new windows from Renewal by Andersen a great investment? You're darn right they are. Did you know that for less than your cable bill or cell phone bill each month, you could have new windows from Renewal by Andersen right now? Do the math. Renewal by Andersen windows will likely cut your energy bills significantly. They will likely substantially increase the value of your home. They're a great investment. Please contact our team now and ask about our fantastic financing options with approved credit right now. Renewal by Andersen, a great investment? You're darn right.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. On today's online-only auction, we are liquidating the automotive shop at Bob's Amico, located at 721 Mount Rushmore Road, Rapid City, South Dakota. Several shop tools, Craftsman, Snap-on, Blue Point. We have a Coates vertical tire-changing machine and a digital balancer. 12,000-pound scissor hoist that's like new. A 97 Dodge Dakota pickup with a snowplow. A 96 Infiniti car. It's a Q45 with 85,000 actual miles. For more details and to bid and buy on today's online-only auction, go to McPhersonAuction.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows level off around 20. Tonight, under cloudy skies with a slight chance for snow. South winds around 5 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, slight chance of snow. Highs level off around 31. Partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 18. A dusting of snow tonight through tomorrow. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 39.
Did you know that sports events hosted in Rapid City have generated over $30 million in economic spending so far in 2024? Retail, hotels, and restaurants benefit from our community being a regional sports hub. I'm D'Amico from the Rapid City Sports Commission, and we recruit and grow events in Rapid City to increase spending as well as the quality of life for our local families. Please follow the Rapid City Sports Commission on Facebook to get more information about Rapid City sports and events.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, summitautogrp.com.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show, Monday edition, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. If you miss any guests on the program, we talked Vikings Monday Night Football tonight. Dane Mizutani from U.S. Bank Stadium. Ralph Acciano, senior NFL writer, Fox Sports in the first hour. If you miss any guests, any segments, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show's there, so if you can't catch the show live in your afternoon drive on Fox Sports Radio, we are there. Search The Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. You got us, The Nate Brown Show. Search for it, and you've got the podcast. Sam Herder made the South Dakota tour on Saturday. Brookings to Vermilion, and the Jacks win, and the Yotes win. Sam Herder back on tonight, senior FCS analyst, herosports.com. Sam, welcome back on. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate your time. I want to break down the games and then get your read on the semifinals. This is a big weekend for South Dakota sports fans. I said, look at this, the Jacks in it. People expected that. I don't think a lot of people expected the Yotes, like beginning of the season, so they made the run here too. Let me ask you about Saturday's experience for you. When you watched the Jacks game first, they really dominated Incarnate Word. I was tweeting, I was like, Incarnate Word looks cold. And I thought they looked rough first half. They competed in the second half. What did you think of the Jacks' overall game?
Yeah, it was a statement performance, I thought. And we've seen South Dakota State in previous years, maybe at times their toughest game in their FCS title runs have been the quarterfinals. And so I didn't really think that was going to be the case going into this one just because I think people are so used to South Dakota State having home field advantage throughout the last couple of years that maybe it took some people to realize, this is probably going to be Mark Gronowski's last game at South Dakota State in Brookings, at least, and a lot of those seniors. And so I just felt like they were going to have a sharp performance and not have one of those kind of ho-hum quarterfinal performances just because this was likely going to be their last game, ever in Brookings, unless Mercer pulled off that, huge upset, which of course didn't happen. And so I wasn't maybe expecting that dominant of a performance, 31-0 or whatever it was at halftime, but I thought they would win pretty comfortably.
How did you think that second half played out? Because they're up by 30 at half. You said, I was like, this is over, and it felt over. Yet the second half, the Jacks, I don't know. It's like you're up by 30. I think they're maybe just trying to play that out. How did you assess, Incarnate Word, I guess, put some things together in the second half, but did the Jacks just look for, we're in good shape here?
It was probably just letting a lot of stuff develop underneath and not giving up the big play over top. You don't want to give up a 30-second scoring drive or anything like that. And it's your sense of urgency just naturally. I know coaches will preach always play like it's 0-0, but when it's 31-0, just naturally your sense of urgency is going to go down a little bit. And UIW is still good. They're a good FCS program. They're not a great FCS team, because the gap between them and South Dakota State was pretty large, but they're still a good FCS team with a quarterback that can sling it, some really good weapons on the outside. And so I think they flashed what they can do in those couple of drives, but obviously South Dakota State kind of dug their heels in a little bit and got some stops as that game progressed.
Give me your read on Mark Gronowski and Griffin Wilde. Wilde went over 1,000 yards this year. I don't think a lot of people think he's as good as he is, this cat out of Sioux Falls. He's a high-level playmaker, I think. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And, he has, a chance to break some records at South Dakota State if he if he stays there all 4 years through his eligibility, which as a South Dakota guy, that makes it even harder to leave. I think with whether they play for USD or SDSU or Montana State, if you get a lot of impact guys from in-state, it's easier to hang on to them, because they're from the state. And so, I think he's due for he's set for a fabulous career at South Dakota State. And, already in his freshman year, he's making big-time plays. And I think South Dakota State's doing a good job of, scheming him open because, the defenses, look at the stats, they watch the film, they realize that there's a pretty big gap in receiver production when it comes to Wilde than whoever the number 2 guy, is going to be. So they probably do some things coverage-wise to try to take him away. But I think South Dakota State does a good job of, whether it's, to overly simplify it, you have, guy do a 10-yard out, and then right behind them, Wilde is doing, a 20-yard out to kind of, get away from that bracket coverage and kind of scheme things up where, the cornerback has to respect one route, and then Wilde ends up one-on-one with the safety, in another route over the top. I think that's some ways they've been able to get him to be as wide open as, because, from a surface, you go, how is Wilde getting open? He's the top weapon, but sometimes it's the play design that allows him to get that open.
I thought the first couple early touchdowns from Gronowski to Wilde were big time in the Jacks roll. Incarnate word. Sam Herder covered it in Brookings, senior FCS analyst, HeroSports.com and BetMGM. Then he went down to Vermilion. You got down to the Dome. People are saying it was a wild game. I watched the whole thing. It was. I felt like USD was the better team. They turned it over twice inside the 5-yard line going in. And I know UC Davis turned it over a ton too, so I get that. What did you think of USD against UC Davis talent-wise, physicality-wise? Was USD the best team despite all the turnovers every which way?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And even with a crazy turnover game, they come out, 2 touchdowns better. And I think even if both teams played clean games and executed well and all that, I still think South Dakota would have won by, 10 or so points, 14 or so points. Just the flow of it made it a pretty wild back and forth game. But, I thought you watch that game and you kind of go, okay, USD maybe could have won more decisively than they did, but at the same time, UC Davis did also have some missed opportunities as well. And without their star running back Lan Larison, it was unfortunate to see him go down pretty early in that game with his, I believe it was an ankle injury. He's one of the very best offensive players in the FCS. Now, had he stayed healthy, does that mean UC Davis would have won that game? You obviously can't say definitively yes or no to that question. You just like to see all the star players, stay in that game. And it was unfortunate for him to go down with that injury, but, I know USD had a couple of offensive linemen go down with injuries. I believe one came back. But yeah, I thought overall USD was the more well-built team, more depth, just kind of built all around much better than UC Davis, and that showed on the field.
I saw, Sam, you've been getting a bad time on the internet. Nobody does that, of course, to anybody, but you didn't pick USD. You came on the show here, and you thought UC Davis was going to win it, so let's go to semifinal Saturday. USD, I said, has their hands full. Montana State, I think, is the real deal. I grew up watching Montana State. They were good back in the day. Now they're the team in Montana. It used to be the Grizz. Now it's the Bobcats. Number 1 seed all the way. They're not going to, light you up through the air. They want to pound you. Tommy Malott runs. They just want to do that. Is USD physical enough? I think that's the step USD has taken. They're now physical, big, strong. Can they be physical enough against Montana State?
Yeah, that'll be the test, is to do so for all 4 quarters. And that one, because Montana State is going to keep on coming at you, and you can hold up physically well for 2 quarters, but you have to hold up just as physically well in the 3rd and 4th quarter as well, and show some depth. So I think it's going to be a really close battle. And that one, I think
you do close game.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think a majority of people, or if not everyone, is going to pick Montana State to win that game, and that's not a USD disrespecting. That's just a respect thing for Montana State. I mean, they're the favorite to win the national title for a reason, and winning in Bozeman is going to be in my opinion, much more difficult than winning in Fargo, just because both will be sellout crowds. But I think, Montana State is just kind of at a different level right now. So I do think it'll be a really close game, though.
Okay, a lot of people say, Sam, Montana State, they've just blown everybody away. I mean, they've blown everybody away. But you think USD could be good enough. Can USD's pass game, could that be a difference maker with Bauman if he can find some guys?
Yeah, I think so. And that is, maybe one way that teams have found the most success on Montana State is, hitting on, hitting some passes, through the air. It is a little bit more difficult running on Montana State this year. But, the one test for Montana State is they haven't held up physically well. When they played South Dakota State a couple of years ago in the semifinals, when they played North Dakota State a few years ago in the title game, their defensive line and linebackers just didn't, physically match up well with those North Dakota State and South Dakota State teams. And this USD offensive line is huge. And they're not only huge, but they're athletic. They can get out and move. And then you have a guy like Pierre, who's fantastic. I really like the running style of Travis Tice this time of year when teams are a little worn down. He runs physically, bounces off the tackles. And so I think, I'm not saying USD is going to, run for 300 yards or anything like that, but I think they can get a little bit going on the ground. And then as that defense kind of sucks up a little bit, that's when, the passing attack for USD can, hit some explosive plays over the top. So many weapons on the outside too. And, Galbraith, I don't know how many total snaps he took, but it seemed like he was, making a big-time catch a lot of the time he was out there.
Oh, he was good. The tight end back for USD on Saturday, he was good. Sam Herder breaking down the FCS semifinals. You can find his work at herosports.com, senior FCS analyst. Let's go to the Fargo game. This is the one we've seen over and over. How big of an advantage is it for NDSU to be at home in this?
Yeah, I think to me, it kind of evens it out because just on paper and the eye test and how both of these teams are playing right now, I think South Dakota State looks like, the better team just with how they're clicking in all three phases. Meanwhile, North Dakota State has, there are some things to be concerned about in that USD loss. And then in the two playoff wins, they've been rather dominant wins, but there's still some things that are kind of missing there for North Dakota State. But with that said, you get the game, in the Fargo Dome, and that gives you, a little bit more juice, a little bit more energy behind you. So I do think it'll be an advantage. It's not as big of an advantage if, we'll just say hypothetically, if Montana State was going to North Dakota State this weekend, that'd be a bigger home field advantage compared to South Dakota State going there because they're used to the noise, they're used to the travel, the locker room, the whole setup, and the whole shebang. But it's not like it's a 0% advantage, for NDSU to be in the Fargo Dome. I do think that will give them, at least an edge in terms of evening things out. Because if it was on a neutral field, I think a lot of people would feel comfortable picking South Dakota State. But since it's in the Fargo Dome, I think that's what makes a lot of people, including me, go, it could go either way. You're kind of waffling on it right now.
As you grade this game out, like you go by position, it's like running backs, wide receivers, you go, okay, A, B, or even. You tell me, I'm going to put you on the spot. Quarterback, Gronowski or Cam Miller? What's the edge?
I would say Cam Miller for that one.
You would? Why?
I think just overall body of work this year. I think Miller has played better, whether it be statistically, PFF grades, just how they look overall. I know Gronowski is playing a lot better as of late, but I still think overall body of work, Miller has the edge there.
Okay, let me ask you on this now. Defenses. South Dakota State's been really, really good. NDSU starting to shore that up. Defenses.
Yeah, I think South Dakota State takes that one. I think South Dakota State's defensive line is better. I think South Dakota State's linebackers are better, and I think South Dakota State's secondary is much better. And so I think South Dakota State has the edge on the defensive side of the football.
Okay, last one for Sam Herder. Who has the edge? You don't have to make your pick yet. You'll do that at herosports.com, I know. Who has the edge on Monday?
Yeah, I think it's not my official pick right now, but if you're just going off of who's playing better right now and who you would have more confidence in picking, it would probably be South Dakota State. Just with how they're clicking in, how they've looked, and how they've dominated. Meanwhile, NDSU, there seems to be some things missing there in their run blocking and some defensive breakdowns in the secondary. So there's probably more confidence in picking South Dakota State. So, if you were to pick South Dakota State, you're going off of what you see and, the matchups and all that. If you pick North Dakota State, you're kind of leaning toward, it's in the Fargo Dome. It's kind of the Bison thing to do when your backs are against the wall. Everyone's picking against you, and then you find a way, to win a big-time matchup. So that would be, you're picking with your guts to pick North Dakota State. Meanwhile, if you pick South Dakota State, you're picking with your eyes and your brain and what you see.
Let me see how it breaks down. He's senior FCS analyst. He covers the league, all the teams really well. Find him at herosports.com. BetMGM, the line's ready to roll. He's on Twitter at Sam Herder FCS. Semifinal Saturday. It's going to be a fun one, no doubt. The Jackson Yotes trying to get a South Dakota national championship. That would be something. Sam, good to have you as always. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Great breakdown. Senior FCS analyst Sam Herder on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, featuring the FCS writer for herosports.com. Sounds like he's going Montana State and South Dakota State. That's what it sounds like. Not going out on a limb there, Sam. Not going out on a limb. But we'll see what his official picks are. My question of the day, what's the FCS National Championship matchup you would really want to see in Frisco? I thought South Dakota sports fans would just slam dunk this thing. Jack's Yotes. Make it a South Dakota special in Frisco. You are voting for that, but it's not a slam dunk on the Nate Brown Show. Find us on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show and watch us live and answer a question of the day there as well. 61% of you say Jack's Yotes is the matchup you really want to see in the national championship. 39% of you voting for you want to watch the Jacks take on Montana State. Good stuff. Let's go to Denver. Talk to Doug Ottewill. Covered Travis Hunter, the Heisman Trophy winner. What's his read on that? And the Broncos at 9-5 on the verge of the playoffs for the first time in forever. Doug Ottewill, milehighsports.com, next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
This New Year's Eve, get ready to rock the box, featuring Flannel and Pop Rocks live at the Box Event Center. Enter the costume contest for your chance to win the $1,000 grand prize. General admission tickets start at just $35. How about an all-you-can-eat nacho bar? VIP packages, including a room stay and breakfast, start at $149 at rockthebox.live. Rock the box with us and ring in the new year with a bash. Tickets available now. Visit rockthebox.live.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Are new windows from Renewal by Andersen a great investment? You're darn right they are. Did you know that for less than your cable bill or cell phone bill each month, you could have new windows from Renewal by Andersen right now? Do the math. Renewal by Andersen windows will likely cut your energy bills significantly. They will likely substantially increase the value of your home. They're a great investment. Please contact our team now and ask about our fantastic financing options with approved credit right now. Renewal by Andersen, a great investment? You're darn right.
Doing it. Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields. We're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty, and they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is driven by Spearfish Motors. Locally owned Spearfish Motors. Not many new car and truck dealerships left in the region. Locally owned. That makes a big difference. Work with the local pros for GMCs and Cadillacs. 2024 is winding down. This is the time to buy. They want to get them out the door. Go to spearfishmotors.com. We are professional grade. That's spearfishmotors.com for the best selection of GMCs and Cadillacs in South Dakota. South Dakota Sports Talk Show with Doug Ottewill tonight from Denver. Can I call him like senior sports pro, senior sports writer? I mean, what do I call him? MileHighSports.com. He's the man. He's like been there from the start of Denver sports coverage. MileHighSports.com's Doug Ottewill is on tonight. Doug, good to have you. How are you?
I'm good. If you wait like a year or two, you probably just call me senior citizen.
Oh, there you go. I know, me and you both. Let's take it easy. You are the man at MileHighSports.com for the coverage of all the Denver sports scene. I've got a couple of things I want to shoot around. So let's start with Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter wins the Heisman. I had to do a segment on this show a couple of weeks ago why I didn't even think it was an argument, and I'm not disrespecting Ashton Genty. That's an unbelievable season, but it was a different discussion. The Travis Hunter season was unheard of. It would be Ashton Genty doing his running back stuff and having like a really nice year, maybe, 1,800 yards, and then playing safety and having like 4 picks and whatever else. It's just a different discussion for me, and I didn't get how a lot of people didn't get that. What did you think of? I mean, Travis Hunter ultimately wins the Heisman, but it was kind of bitter out there on social media.
Well, I think, and I'm with you. I mean, Genter's a great candidate, but I think the reality is that Travis Hunter is just such a unicorn that there's no. I mean, especially if you start to kind of look at the terms, and I don't know if this is always applied to the Heisman, but most valuable, I mean, the kid never took snaps off.
Right.
And, I mean, to do all that for your team and then to do it at that level, I think makes him such a unique case. I mean, in any other year that a running back does that, he's going to win, but that's why it's a contest. I mean, what Travis Hunter did was so unusual that I think it warranted recognition. And I think, when you look at a guy that had, was it 4 or 5 games with a touchdown and an interception in the same game, I mean, that's just rare air. And, it doesn't have to be someone loses. It's just that someone won. And I think Travis Hunter just did everything he possibly could to win that award.
Okay, I do think there's a little bit of this. I wasn't sure, but the more I saw people talking about it, I think there was a narrative out there. The people that were against Travis Hunter partially because of the Deion Sanders circus. I just think that played in. Oh, Sanders, big talker, big brand, money signs on the Gatorade towels, all of the stuff. I think the Deion Sanders thing had an impact on Travis Hunter's popularity, but maybe it also helped him with some people. But do you think it was a negative drag with quite a few folks?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know just from covering Deion Sanders for 2 years, not everybody loves the guy. And I think the way he carries himself, the way that he, promotes his guys and isn't ashamed to do so, and, doesn't shy away from the NIL, the transfer portal. There's a lot of people that don't like him. But I really think if you took Travis Hunter and you put him on, you name it, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, any of the schools that are sort of the traditional, Heisman watch schools, I mean, the kid's highlight reel is all you need to watch. I don't care who his coach is and the other thing that I would throw in there, and you can give credit to Deion or you can give credit to his players and Hunter being probably at the top of the list, but that school went from one win 2 seasons ago to they're in the conversation for being in the National College Football Playoff.
Right.
In 2 seasons. And you don't do that unless you have extraordinary players. And I my biggest gripe with the Heisman ceremony was that Shedeur Sanders wasn't one of the guys invited. Now, I think there's always you got 2 guys from one school, it's going to split the vote, it's this and that. But, I mean, talk about a guy that probably really got snubbed and just not getting the invite.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, actually. It's an unpopular opinion, so look out. I'm with you on that. Shedeur, I think, should have been there. Last one on the Travis Hunter winning the Heisman. I think it was an unbelievable player. Why didn't it turn into a positive story in today's world where the guy goes to Jackson State because he has a relationship with Deion, then he goes to Colorado because Deion goes there. It's a bad program. He stays there. He could have gotten some big deals to go here and there and everywhere. Why isn't it a positive story that Travis Hunter sticks with the CU Buffs? Jackson State to CU Buffs. Instead, forget these guys. When we would have celebrated guys sticking with their coach and team.
Yeah, and I think it's sort of the whole point of college, right? I mean, anybody who goes to college, whether it's for sports or otherwise, goes to better themselves. And there are kids out there that don't have the advantages, whether that's monetary, whether that's family structure, whether it's the school they came from. And to think, and this is kind of goes back to your question about Deion, not everybody likes Deion, but if you look at a case-by-case scenario, and Travis Hunter is one of those cases, I mean, what better situation do you want? I mean, the guy was essentially a father figure in Travis Hunter's life where he didn't have one. And I think that's a story that should be talked about, not, whether Deion's flashy or not. It's that he took a kid that was, highly recruited, was going to go to Florida State, went to a school that maybe not everybody would have thought, he could have or should have gone to because of Deion, and then followed him to Colorado, and the results followed. I mean, not only did he have a positive experience and probably make a little NIL money along the way, but he's the best player in college football. I don't understand where anyone could have an issue with that.
Good stuff. Doug Otto on tonight talking Travis Hunter winning the Heisman. If I would have gotten a vote, that was my vote. MileHighSports.com. Ashton Genty, great player. Great, seems like person. I talked to one of his coaches who I know personally, Stacy Collins there at Boise State. He's an outstanding guy. Ashton Genty, great season. Would have won the Heisman, I think, probably in any other year outside of the Travis Hunter unique year. Okay, let's go to the Broncos. So here's my Bo leaving chart, Doug. It was up to 95% a couple of weeks ago. It was up to 95. Bo's been hot, taking care of the ball. Broncos offense putting up some points. I saw it up close and personal against the Falcons a few weeks ago. So Now I'm down. I go from 95% after the bye here to 75%. Wow, they won. What do you mean they won? It wasn't good. You can't throw 3 picks in a playoff game and win. So there's room there. He's still going to be rookie mistakes. I'm not so sure he's going to light it up all the time. So I'm a believer in Bo. I'm at 75%. What was your takeaway from yesterday's game? He didn't play well.
No, not at all. I think there's a couple things. And I would say the longer this season goes, the more snaps he takes, especially the more successful snaps he takes, the more film there is on him. And I think that applies to anybody that plays, any significant position in the NFL. So I think, it's like a good hitter in his second year in the majors. I mean, you get a little bit of time to study someone, and guys start to figure out what he can and can't do. I think the other part of it is that this team's ability to run the football is so bad that it really makes defenses, they're very one-dimensional in what they have to do. I think that makes it really tough on Bo. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I mean, I think
that's right.
My confidence level, like yours, has dipped. But I do think that some of those things come into play. And that doesn't mean it's going to be easier for him next year. There's going to be a whole season of of film to dissect. But I do think that the biggest goal the Broncos should have in the offseason is to figure out how the heck to run the ball, because that will help him more than anything.
So the Broncos have to win one of their last 3 games. They're automatically in the playoffs. And then, if other teams, lose, instead of like the Colts, Dolphins, these teams that are chasing them, Bengals, I guess, they have to win out and hope the Broncos lose. So I think the Broncos are playoff bound. They're 9-5. These 3 games, Chargers Thursday, Bengals, then Chiefs. Can they win these games? Are they going to win 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, or none?
Well, they're a strange team. I mean, and that's I was joking with one of my guys this morning. I was like, there's no real accurate way to assess this team. I mean, they play like no one could stop them when they played the Falcons. And I know the Falcons aren't good, but at that point, people said, the Falcons, they've got one of the best offenses in football. Defense came in and shut them down. Then they go against, a team like the Colts and kind of look like they really shouldn't even be in the playoff. I mean, it takes a freak play, unintentional hot dog fumble to really change the fortunes of that game. They don't look like a playoff team right now. But I will say this, and this is kind of what I wrote in this morning's column. Is like, this team reminds me of the Tim Tebow team. I mean, they've won, let's call it 3 games because of minor miracles. I mean, the last 2 especially. Maybe you go back and the Jets game was just a terrible game, but the fact that they won was kind of a miracle. They only won because they had a great defense. And then you really, you throw in the fact that they got the benefit of playing the NFC South.
Yeah.
Well, if you take some of those things out, and whether you take all of them or a few of them, they're really kind of a 5 or 6 win team. But that happens all the time, and we saw it with Tim Tebow, where things fall right. They just fall right for a team, and I think the Broncos are kind of that story this year. Do I think they're really good enough to make a lot of noise this year? Probably not. I think their defense is good enough when healthy to beat just about anybody. But I like you said, you're not throwing 3 picks in the playoffs and winning the game. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So they have to find ways to get back to, no turnover Bo. I mean, even when he wasn't putting up big numbers, when he wasn't turning the ball over, they're winning games. So I think it's get back to that, and it's find some way to run the ball, because you can't ask a rookie quarterback to carry you. He's kind of carried you to the postseason. I don't think you can carry a team through the postseason if you can't run at all.
It is a bizarre team. I like watching them. They're competitive as heck. Defense flies around. I hope Pat Surtain's going to be okay. He got banged up there late. I didn't like that at all. because they've been hurting without Riley Moss, too. But offensively, pretty clean most of the time. Yesterday was a struggle, but I feel like they could win Thursday night at L.A. against Chargers. I feel like they could win their last 3, and I feel like they could lose their last 3. And they say, well, that's everybody. No, not usually playoff teams. Like, you should beat the Bengals, and I'm these last 3 games are going to be really interesting to watch where the Broncos are at. Maybe 3 of their hardest games when you look at their schedule. Doug Ottewell on tonight. MileHighSports.com. His column's up there right now, talking Broncos and Travis Hunter. Always appreciate you, Doug. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks a lot, Nate. I'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, man. Doug Ottewell on tonight. Check him at MileHighSports.com here on the Nate Brown Show. Good stuff from Doug. We go who's hot and who's not tonight. Well, there was a record in sports last night. A record. And then there was this that happened again in the NFL. Who's hot and who's not? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Wrapping up the show next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Shop the best deals of the season at Splash City and create the ultimate game night all year round. Challenge family and friends with the smooth glide of a shuffleboard puck gliding across the table, or reign champion with a Brunswick pool table. With free local delivery and setup, and either 0% financing or a free gift, you only have until Christmas Eve to stop into your local Splash City to learn more about these amazing deals.
Visit Splash City in Sioux Falls, Rapid City, or Sioux City. It's time to make a splash. You've earned it.
As the official mascot of Country Hearth Breads and literally made of dough, Lofi would like to put a little more jingle in your holiday this season by giving you a chance to win some dough yourself. Visit countryhearthbreads.com/sweeps and enter today for your chance to win $500 or $1,000. Winners will each receive a check that can be used for travel, gifts, or even Lofi's personal choice, lots and lots of bread and buns for all your holiday celebrations. So get your buns over to countryhearthbreads.com/sweeps and enter today. Good luck.
This New Year's Eve, get ready to rock the box featuring Flannel and Pop Rocks live at the Box Event Center. Enter the costume contest for your chance to win the $1,000 grand prize. General admission tickets start at just $35. How about an all-you-can-eat nacho bar? VIP packages, including a room stay and breakfast, start at $149 at rockthebox.live. Rock the box with us and ring in the new year with a bash. Tickets available now. Visit rockthebox.live.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer from Denny Menholt Toyota. Use your phone. It's fast and easy. Pull up our website, click on Value Trade-In, scan your VIN, and tell us about your car. You are on your way to a no-hassle, no-commitment cash offer on your vehicle in under 5 minutes. Bring your vehicle and your Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer to Denny Menholt Toyota and get cash or trade-in credit today. See you soon at Denny Menholt Toyota, Rapid City.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, let's do this on a Monday. Get you to the Vikings-Bears. I'm getting ready to watch that. Skull. Can I do that? All right. I'm a Broncos fan. Give me a break. My brother's a lifetime Vikings fan, so I know your pain. I know what you go through. Who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show tonight? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet at the Pizza Ranch. 2 locations in Rapid City. Who's hot and who's not? Let's go with the who's hot category. So I don't know if you're going to like this. I don't know if you're going to love this, but there was a record yesterday in the NBA, an all-time record in the history of the league, the most three-pointers in a game ever. 48 combined three-pointers were made between the Mavericks and the Warriors. So it was Steph and Luka, and they were launching. It's almost 50 threes made in the game yesterday. So 48 was the number. That's an all-time most combined three-pointers in a game ever. and everybody's going to complain. Just watch here. Too many threes. We might have a discussion on that this week. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, it's an easy pick. Sorry, Jonathan Taylor, for piling on. Colts running back was running into the end zone to put the Colts up against my Broncos 20-7. He dropped the ball before the goal line, just before. I don't know how it happens. I don't know. I mean, it happens every year, and I just don't know how it continues to happen. But Jonathan Taylor dropped that ball. He was going up by 2 touchdowns. The Broncos put on a scoring fest after that and won 31-13. It was like a huge momentum shift. My apologies to Jonathan Taylor for piling on in the Nate Brown Show, Pizza Ranch, Who's Not, but you can't have it. Thanks for listening tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show going up. The Nate Brown Show podcast is on the way tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
My reason why is community.
My reason why is leadership.
My reason why